Hey guys, welcome back to another Doom video. So, The Ancient Gods Part 2 came out, and before the actual video, I want to go over something. The reason behind this video is because this might be the final time we see the Doomslayer in the franchise. Proof? This paragraph on Steam for The Ancient Gods Part 2. It reads, "Experience the end of the Slayer saga. Experience the epic conclusion to the Doomslayer saga. From the moment you are activated by Samuel Hayden at the UAC facility on Mars to the destruction of the Icon of Sin, all your battles have led to this. Prepare to siege Amora, the last bastion of the Dark Realm, challenge the Dark Lord in combat, and seal the demons within hell for good." Does this mean this is the final Doom game? No. But does it mean this is the final time we see or will play as the Doomslayer? Possibly. With that out of the way, let's get into the Doom 1. December 10th, 1993. A file is uploaded to the University of Wisconsin in an FTP server, and the file was named Doom, created by John Carmack. It started development in late 1992, and tricks were used to make Doom look like a good game, like how the game isn't fully 3D, but fun fact, known as 2.5D. They are internally represented on a two-dimensional plane, with height differences added separately. The plot to Doom is very simple. The player is an unnamed space marine who has been banished to Mars after assaulting his general for not firing upon innocent civilians. Alongside the Union Aerospace Corporation, known as the UAC, a multiplanetary conglomerate and military contractor performing secret experiments on interdimensional travel. Recently, the teleportation has shown signs of anomalies and instability, but the research continues nonetheless. Suddenly, something goes wrong and creatures from Hell swarm out of the teleportation gates on Deimos and Phobos. A defensive response from the base security fails to halt the invasion, and the bases are quickly overrun by monsters. All personnel are killed or turned into zombies. A military detachment from Mars travels to Phobos to investigate the incident. The player is tasked with securing the perimeter, as the assault team and their heavy weapons are brought inside. Radio contact soon ceases and the player realizes that he is the only survivor. Being unable to pilot the shuttle off to Phobos by himself, the only way to escape is to go inside and fight through the complexes of the moon base. Doom 1 is a first-person shooter with a background setting that mixes science fiction and horror, presented in the form of 3 episodes, each taking place in a separate general location and played separately. The primary objective of each level is to simply locate the exit room that leads to the next area, while surviving all hazards along the way. Among the obstacles are monsters, pits of radioactive waste, ceiling that descend to crush the player, and locked doors for which a key or remote switch needs to be located. Levels are sometimes labyrinthine. The auto-map is a crucial aid in navigating them, and features plenty hidden rooms that hold power-ups as a reward for players who explored thoroughly. A tally screen at the end of each level helps the player aiming for additional objectives, such as clearing the levels of monsters or finding secret areas. Doom took over by storm, and everybody was talking about it, with 2 to 3 million copies sold in only 2 years. It was widely regarded because of its very gory and bloody taste, and sometimes hated because of those reasons, but because of how popular it is, Doom 2 was bound to come out. Doom 2. Doom 2, Hell on Earth, was released on September 30th, 1994, and is the first sequel to Doom. The player once again takes the role of a lone marine, an unnamed hero, who, after escaping Hell and being the only survivor, returns to Earth. He discovers that Earth has been invaded, as foreshadowed back in Doom 1. With all the major cities in the world in ruins, the remaining leaders plan to use spacecraft to transport the survivors of Earth's population. However, the starport is the only way for ships to depart, and demons have protected it using a force field. All of humanity's remaining soldiers make a desperate assault on the starport, but eventually, they are decimated and only the player remains. The Marine manages to enter the infested starport, slay all the demons, and in his way is able to shut down the force field. Humanity escapes, and he sits quietly waiting for his death, knowing he saved his species. Then, the remaining humans discover the source of the hellish invasion, the Marine's hometown. He gets back into the fight and exterminates the Hellspawn from the town, and finds another entryway into Hell. To close the portal, he must enter Hell again to stop the invasion. After journeying through its twisted surface, the Marine manages to confront the Icon of Sin, a gigantic demon, and kills it. Its gruesome death causes devastation on Hell, and the portal to Earth has been sealed. Doom 2 is not dramatically different game from its predecessor. There were no significant technology developments and no major graphical improvements. Gameplay still consists of the player negotiating non-linear levels, picking up keys to unlock new areas, and killing as many monsters as possible. Unlike Doom 1, Doom 2 takes place over a single continuous sequence of linked levels, with brief textual interludes in order to advance the story. Whereas the original Doom separated 8 levels each into 3 episodes, and a bonus 4th episode with a text interlude shown after beating the 8th level of each episode. The intermission screens following each level shows a simple background image instead of a map. The player can carry his weapons throughout the entire game, rather than starting from scratch several times as one episode ends and another begins. Doom 2 sold 2 to 3 million copies and was well received by the gaming community, but was a disappointment in some areas due to no new graphical design. But as always, Doom 3 was going to come out sooner or later. Doom 3. Doom 3 is a sci-fi horror fantasy first-person shooter computer game developed by id Software and published by Activision. Doom 3 focuses on a slow, methodical gameplay as opposed to the run-and-gun feel of its predecessors. The protagonist is, once again, an unnamed Space Marine holding the rank of Corporal who came along with Swan and Campbell aboard the Dark Star. The Marine was called to replace another who died during an operation, as he is assigned by Master Sergeant Kelly, aka Sarge, to find the missing facility. Counselor Swan and Campbell argue with Betschriger about how many incidents happened throughout the base, along with frightened employees and rumors of what is happening in the Delta Labs. Bertrier replies to Swan that amazing things will happen here soon, and to stay out of his way. When the Marine finds Ishi, he babbles about sending out a warning to Delta Labs, Level 4, and that the devil is real. I know, I built his cage. With those words, hell erupts from the main experimental gateway, sending a shock wave throughout the complex, along with glowing pentagrams. Scores of evil ghost skulls that transform 90% of UA personnel into zombies are sent across the entire platform, including Ishi. The remaining staff are killed off by attacking demons with only a few scattered squads remaining. Bravo Team is being the main one. After returning to the reception area, the Marine is ordered by Sarge to regroup with Bravo Team and help them send a distress signal into the space fleet. When the Marine takes the elevator to administration, he overhears Swan arguing with Betschriger in a video phone conference. Betschriger being rather calm about the situation and claiming that it is under control, knowing that Betschriger is somehow linked to the invasion. Swan and Campbell go also to the communication facility to prevent anyone else from coming to Mars. The Marines' effort to regroup with any remaining Marines ends in vain as hell has hit very hard, killing or possessing the human population on Mars and leaving only a handful of humans who, with futile effort, hide or lock themselves in the most secure areas that they can reach. Passing through the administration and Alpha Lab areas, the Marine encounters many demons and zombie enemies, which some are led by the very powerful Vagary. After reaching the Onpro facility, the Bravo Team is attacked and killed by a group of imps, with the exception of one surviving Marine who plays dead to hide the distress card from Swan and Campbell when they pass by him. When the Marine reaches the slaughter of the Bravo Team, the survivor gives the distress card to him and is later killed by a wraith. When the Marine finally reaches communications, however, Campbell has already destroyed the main console with his BFG 9000. Sarge orders the Marine to go to the isolated satellite tower and send the transmission for reinforcements. There's one Marine is confronted with a moral decision when Swan contacts him on a video conference. Swan asks the Marine to stop the transmission since they don't know what the hell is going on here, and until we do, this facility will remain on UAC control. In hell, the Marine fights many of its legions, but eventually manages to find the Soul Cube, which is protected by the Guardian of Hell. After destroying the Guardian of Hell, the Marine covers the artifact and gets it back to Mars. Shortly after his return, Betschriger taunts him, saying the gateway is useless since there is another portal called Hellgate capable of bringing millions of demons to our universe. Going through many areas of Delta Complex, the Marine finds Swan badly injured. Swan says that Sarge has turned evil is now on Bertriger's side, and that Campbell went to hunt him down. He also reveals that the demons' plans were always to get him to Earth, since they were there before, lost in the dunes of time, and the Marine must help Campbell kill Sarge. He gives the Marine his PDA, saying he's going to try to make it out of his own. As the Marine moves through the Delta Sector 1, growth has transformed to most of the facility since he first entered the facility at 2:30 p.m. Using the PDA, the Marine reaches the CPU complex, only to find Campbell mortally wounded by Sarge. Before his death, Campbell warns the Marine that Sarge stole his BFG 9000. After killing Sarge, now known as Saboth, the CPU banks, the Marine goes to Site 3. As the Marine enters the original Mars base, it is already Tuesday, November 16th, and he reaches the caverns at dawn. After restoring control to the main lift, the Marine takes it further underground to the original structures of a much older facility. Fighting through demons, the Marine reaches the ancient civilization dig site of Site 2. Years of Mars quakes and time is starting to bring down the structure. After fighting through the ancient structure, the Marine finally reaches the primary dig site and discovers more about the Soul Cube from the UAC info video on one of the tablets. The Marine also discovers a section of hell that has crept into the Martian underground deep within the bowels of this hellscape. There, he encounters the invulnerable cyber demon who is guarding the hellhole, an enormous portal to hell. Using the Soul Cube, the Marine defeats the giant cyber demon, and the cube itself seals the hellhole forever. Doom 3's gameplay was not as fast-paced as the games before it. Almost all of the game is extremely dark, and there's no light amplification visor, nor do weapons have a flashlight attachment. Instead, the player must rely on, rather infamously, a flashlight that can only be used in place of a weapon. There are few tactics involved other than grabbing the biggest weapons. Doom 3 was liked by a few groups of people, but it wasn't as generally liked as much as the other games. But as always, it managed to thrive even better than the past games. The game was a commercial success for id Software, with the planned total revenue estimated by Activision at $20 million. It was one of the top-selling games of 2004, alongside Halo 2 for the Xbox and Half-Life 2. The financial success was bolstered by the near-record number of pre-orders placed for the game. Doom is a soft reboot of the Doom franchise produced by id Software and published by Bethesda Softworks. The game was released on May 13, 2016 and is currently available on PC, PS4, and Xbox One, and was released to the Nintendo Switch on November 10, 2017. The game features the Doomslayer, an ancient warrior awakened during a demonic invasion on Mars in 2048 after the Union Aerospace Corporation scientist Dr. Olivia Pierce allows Hell to invade. The game is set on Mars, with the UAC facility being invaded by the forces of Hell. The Doomslayer awakens chained to his sarcophagus in a UAC facility. Breaking free and after regaining his Praetor suit, he crosses the Martian surface to restart the base satellite systems. Finding recordings of Dr. Olivia Pierce scattered through the base, it becomes apparent that she became fixated on Hell and deliberately encouraged the opening of portals, resulting in mass death of staff and collapse of the base. Contacted by the UAC chairman, Dr. Samuel Hayden, one of the few survivors of the incident, the protagonist is directed through the base to prevent its complete collapse. With the guidance of Hayden and the AI called Vega, he learns from the diagnostic report that casualties and damages are catastrophic. With the exception of Pierce and Hayden, all their staff have either become demons or died horribly. After stabilizing the foundry before a meltdown occurs, Doomguy learns that Pierce plans to use all the UAC Argent Energy Tower to tear a permanent portal into Hell. Seeking to deactivate the tower, Hayden instructs Doomguy to carefully dismantle the Argent energy supply cases to protect the unlimited energy sources. Despite Hayden's protests, Doomguy shatters all the control panels in their lenses, completely destroying the renewable Argent supplies in their solar system. Reaching the tower, Pierce is spotted carrying an Argent accumulator tube. Found in the apex, she activates it before jumping into an Argent stream, tearing open a temporary portal that drags the player into Hell. Landing in the Cagnadir Sanctum, the player has to fight through the forces of Hell in order to return to Mars. Following holograms of Hayden's first expedition, during which he recovered Doomguy's sarcophagus as a failsafe, Doomguy eventually reaches a portal back to Mars. Returning to the UAC Argent facility, now destroyed, he meets with Hayden, who applies a tether system to his Praetor suit in order to pull him back from Hell as needed. Passing through the Advanced Research Complex, Doomguy learns of a Hell artifact named the Crucible. Requiring another Argent accumulator to return to Hell, Doomguy explores the Lazarus Labs and comes across an escaped Cyber Demon, rebuilt and revived with Argent energy. He defeats the Cyber Demon and tears an accumulator from its chest, transporting them both to Hell where he finishes the Cyber Demon. Pushing deeper into Hell, Doomguy finally reaches the Necropolis. Defeating the Hellguard watching over it, Doomguy retrieves the Crucible before Hayden pulls him back to Mars. After arriving at Vega Central Processing, the AI guides him through the process of sacrificing his control facility, allowing him to use its huge Argent stores in order to propel him back to Hell one last time. Using the Crucible, Doomguy destroys the energy sourcing power its portals between Hell and Mars and enters the depths of Argent Dinner. Reaching the end, he finds only Olivia Pierce, horrified at the realization she was merely a pawn, struck by a large argent beam. She transforms into a mastermind, eventually dying at Doomguy's hand. Pulled back to Mars, Doomguy finds himself captured by Hayden, taking the crucible for his own ends. He insists that, in spite of everything, research must continue, as humanity needs an answer for the energy it needs. Since he can't kill Doomguy, but worries of his interference, he has transported him to an unknown location, saying they will meet again. To say that Doom's reboot was a hit is an understatement. It was a complete hit, with most people loving the way it returned with its ultra bloody combat and its super fast gameplay. With how it turned out, people wanted another game, so id and Bethesda got to work. Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal is a sequel to the 2016 Doom soft reboot. The game was launched a day early on March 19, 2020 for PlayStation 4, Xbox One, PC, and Google Stadia. The Nintendo Switch version was delayed and released on December 8, 2020. It was followed up by The Ancient Gods Part 1 on October 20, 2020. A sequel to this, The Ancient Gods Part 2, was released on March 18, 2021. 8 months after the events of Doom 2016, Earth has been overrun by demonic forces, wiping out 60% of the planet's population. Under the now corrupted Union Aerospace Corporation, what remains of humanity has either fled Earth or is band together as part of ARC. The resistance formed to stop the invasion but have gone into hiding after suffering heavy losses. The Doomslayer, having previously been betrayed and teleported away by Dr. Hayden, returns with a satellite fortress controlled by the AI Vega to quell the demonic invasion by killing the Hell Priest, Nilox, Ragnarok, and Grav. The priests serve an angelic being known as the Con Maker, who seeks to sacrifice mankind. The Slayer teleports to destroy New York City and kills Nilox, but the Con Maker teleports the 2 remaining priests to unknown locations, forcing the Slayer to continue searching. After retrieving a celestial locator from the Sentinel Ward of Exultia, the Slayer travels to Hell to retrieve a powerful source from a fallen Sentinel known as the Betrayer. He warns the Slayer that humanity's time has come before giving him the power source and a special dagger. Vega directs the Slayer to a citadel in the Arctic where D. Greenock has taken refuge, and the Slayer kills him after defeating his guardian Doom Hunters. In response, the Con Maker moves D. Grav to a hidden location and accelerates the invasion of Earth. Forced to change tactics, the Slayer destroys the Super Gore nest in Central Europe, where the invasion began. With no leads on finding the last Hell Priest, Vega suggests finding Dr. Hayden, who knows the location of D. Grav. The Slayer makes his way to an ARC compound where he retrieves Hayden's robotic shell, as well as the Crucible before facing a Marauder, a demonic sentinel, to stop the Slayer. Upon uploading Hayden's mind into the fortress, he reveals D. Grav is hiding on Sentinel Prime, with the only portals to Sentinel Prime located in the ancient city of Hebeth in Mars' core, to which there is no immediate access. The Slayer then travels to a facility on Phobos where he uses the BFG-10,000 to shoot a hole into the surface of Mars, which the Hen uses to reach Hebeth. After reaching Sentinel Prime, flashbacks revealed that Slayer is none other to be the Doomguy. Found badly wounded by Sentinels, Doomguy was brought before the Deegs and was forced to fight in the gladiatorial arena. Impressed by Doomguy's ruthlessness in battle, the Deegs inducted him to the Sentinels, while the Con Maker inquires into Doomguy's knowledge of the demons. In the present, the Slayer finds D. Grav in the arena and defeats a massive demon known as the Gladiator. Despite knowing that it is against Sentinel law to murder D. Grav on sacred ground, the Slayer kills him anyway and returns to the fortress. Upon his return, the Slayer's fortress is shut down remotely by the Con Maker to prevent any further interference in her plans. She reveals her intentions to resurrect the world-eating super predator, the Icon of Sin, to consume mankind before having the Slayer attacked by demons. Surviving the ambush, the Slayer uses the demonic crucible light and art energy to reactivate the fortress and travels to Argent and Ur to retrieve his own crucible from his time in the Sentinels. Further flashbacks reveal that during the ill-fated Battle of Argent and Ur, a rogue maker known as the Seraphim had imbued Doomguy with superhuman abilities, transforming him into the Doomslayer. After retrieving the hilt of the Crucible, it is revealed that the Con Maker formed an alliance with Hell to produce Argent energy, which is created through the mass sacrifice of human souls. In return for providing worlds to Hell to invade, the Makers receive a share of Argent energy produced by Hell, which allows their own dimension, Urdak, to survive. Hayden directs the Slayer through Hell's massive citadel, Necroval, until he finds a portal leading to Urdak. He then finds the Con Maker and halts the awakening ceremony by using the Betrayer's dagger to destroy the Icon of Sin's heart. Free from Maker control, the Icon of Sin awakens from its dormant state and teleports to Earth. With the dimension barrier destroyed, the demons break their pact with the Makers and proceed to invade Urdak. The Khan Maker confronts the Slayer, saying that Urdak must destroy Earth to survive. The battle, and the Slayer kills the Khan Maker before taking a portal back to Earth to confront the Icon of Sin, although Vega is left behind to ensure the portal stays open. After an intense battle across the cityscape, the Slayer kills the Icon of Sin by stabbing it in the head with the Crucible, putting an end to Hell's invasion of Earth. As the Slayer walks away, King Navik, leader of the Night Sentinels, states how the Slayer's fight is always eternal. After destroying the Icon of Sin, the Slayer sets out to find and kill the Dark Lord, creator of everything, including him. The Doomslayer travels to Hell's capital city and finds the Dark Lord. They fight and eventually Doomguy takes the upper hand. When struck down, the Dark Lord asks if the Slayer has anything to say to his creator before his death, and the Slayer's only reply is simply no. He kills the Dark Lord, and the Hell portal is sealed forever and the demons outside of Hell are killed. But Doomguy's superpower that he was given from the Divinity Machine had part of the Dark Lord inside of it. When the Dark Lord dies, the Doomslayer falls ill and faints. He is sold within his sarcophagus once again, and that is the end of the Slayer saga. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is it for the Doom franchise. We do not know when or if we ever get a new Doom game, but hopefully this isn't the last time we get to slay our beloved demons. That was a history of Doom and why it's one of the best FPS franchises ever.